Couple roster updates. We'll open up Garrett's window, and we'll open up BJ's window. I think everybody else will be out there today, and kind of a bonus day today, so it'll be a highly enthusiastic, competitive practice today. What do we got? Enthusiastic? Is that a word? Is that a word?
What's the progress update on Kyler?
He's doing better. He'll be out there today.
How exciting is it to see BJ out there? I know it's been a long recovery. How exciting is it for you guys personally to have him back out there?
Yeah, I'm sure more for him than us too. I mean, both. You know what I mean? But obviously, I have a high opinion of him, and I think he can help us.
Do you get the sense this means more to Tyler going back home to Dallas and a chance to play back home?
You could ask him. I don't know. Just another game to me.
Coach, how do you feel like the team's doing now coming off that bye week? Where's their
Reset, ready to go.
You talked about how some of the guys have had to fill in for Garrett in his role now that he's returning hopefully soon. What have you might have missed with Garrett's performance, and what does he mean coming back for him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good football player, so obviously we've missed that. But other guys have stepped up and assumed those roles. So we'll see how he does this week and see how it fits together and do the best thing for the team.
What went into the decisions to release the two players yesterday?
Just some management of the roster, but they'll both be back. They'll be out there today.
obviously pushing things back this week because of Monday, but what does Monday night football mean in terms of changing schedules or adjusting things?
Just that, Craig, honestly. You know, the schedule's a little bit different. We're obviously we'll use the last 2 days coming off the bye, a little bit weird. But just the schedule is just a little bit different.
You mentioned this in another game, but is there more on this game considering you guys could snap a long losing streak and maybe get your start?
Yeah, we got to start digging out of our hole that we dug for ourselves. But they all count the same. But yeah, we got to play well. It's a good football team we're going on the road. We got to control today first, but we got to play well.
How's Walter doing?
He's doing well. He'll be out there today.
Do you expect him to be back this week?
Take it day by day. Tuesday, long way away before we got to make those decisions.
To put some chances on it, JG, what do you think the chances are Kyler plays Monday?
That's a hypothetical to me. I don't know.
How do you feel like the off week went for the coaches until you're talking about making adjustments, looking at everything?
Good. I like we worked. There's no doubt we needed to. But I like some things that we came back in the building with. I got to see it come to fruition.
Did you check off all the projects you wanted to get done?
I did. Yeah, it was good. Today's team meeting too, we showed them a couple different things, a couple different games, how they can fall out. Games, typically 70% of games, what the stats say, come down to a one-score game in the fourth quarter, and then how do you, come back from behind and win, or how do you hold the lead and win, and every game looks a little bit different, but the details matter.
After doing all the self-scouting and deep dives this past week, what are some of the one or two takeaways that you have with why this team is where it's at right now?
Coach and play better. Yeah, and I can give you all the answers there, Josh, but it's not there's nothing drastic. There's really not. If everyone does their job a little bit better, starting with me, we'll have a better chance to get the result we want.
Does that make it all the more frustrating that you guys are that?
No.
Coach, when you look at this Dallas team offensively versus defense, it's like statistically totally different parts in the NFL. Offense in the top 5, defense in the bottom 5. What do you see in the Cowboys?
Yeah, I mean, offensively, really good scheme, really good players. Defensively, you guys know I was with Flu. He'll figure it out. They've had some injuries. How they play on offense, they play a lot of possessions, but they're fast. They play physical. They can take the ball away. So we'll get their best shot. I know that.
When you talk about the bye week review and that kind of stuff, how much realistically can be changed within one season? Is it little details, or I imagine there can't be a full overhaul. What's the degree to which you can do that?
More closer to the more details. And again, it's to Josh's point. That's a good question, Teo, and you too, Josh. Like, you know, where if you look with a critical eye where we're at and how we got to this point, in my mind, like there was no, like I told the team that like I was going to come in today and be like, hey, you know, all these drastic things, this is what we're going to do to win games. You know, it is not that. That is not the answer, in my opinion. When I watch how these games have kicked out and how we're at where we're at right now, it was some minor tweaks and coaching the details a little bit better, playing a little bit better, finding our margins a little bit better, in-game decision-making, play call. It's a bunch of different things, but there's nothing really drastic to me. If we didn't look like we looked with the same record, then you could think about, you know, making some big time drastic changes, which I've been a part of that too. You know, I don't think that was the answer for us moving forward. So I just want us to play a little bit better, coach a little bit better, and play a little bit better.
JG, what was the players' attitude getting back in the building today?
Rejuvenated and ready to go. You know, they're ready to get on the grass, I think. I know. So it'll be good. They're ready to go. They know the challenge that's ahead.
Really random thing, but one thing that jumps out last year, you guys were one of the best teams in the league in the screen passing game, and this year that hasn't been there. Why do you think that that's been the case this year?
Yeah, a couple different reasons. I think, you know, when are we calling them, how are we calling them, who we getting the ball to, the details of coaching it, how the defense plays too. You know, I just saw a stat. I think I saw a stat from one guy that helps with our analytics, but screen game's kind of down this year, you know. I don't know. There's some good screen teams. I think we played a really good screen team versus Green Bay. Dallas does a good job with it, you know. So we need that part of our game when we call those to be more productive.
What does that do for an offense when you can press that button and have a screen pass 7-8 yards?
Hopefully it's a productive play, 7-8 yards, you know. And if it's 2nd and 7, you get 7, it's first down, so that's good.
When it comes to getting
I don't know how to answer that, Taylor. I do think this, from a defensive standpoint, it's not like you can play run, play drop back, and play screen. There's not one call that I know of that takes away those three things. So I do think I would call that a certain play type that you need to be able to call in different situations and have it be productive for you.
When it comes to just pressure on the quarterback, sacks, getting home, how close do you feel like you are to where you want to be when you just look at the stats overall and how things have gone so far?
I think we can affect the quarterback better. I really do. But that's not just the guys rushing. That's not just Sweaty and Calais and Dalvin and Barry. You know, that's the back end. That's our looks pre-snap, our disguises, our alignments. You know, again, if we're in certain coverage structures that you want to look at the quarterback and close windows, we got to do that better. If you're in coverage structures that put a body on body with leverage and help, you got to do that better too. So it takes all 11 to affect the quarterback, and I think you can do it pre-snap and post-snap. We got a few adjustments / tweaks / let's coach these things a little bit better to help out our guys. / let's make sure we're putting this guy here, not there, you know, because he's been more productive in this, you know, spot or this role. So there'll be, you know, to the naked eye, not a ton of change, but hopefully we have some more production.
With all the tweaks that you guys made leading into this week, is this the kind of game that's like a fork in the road type of game where if they work, the season can go one way, if they don't work, then?
No, I think, you know, you're never going to play a perfect game, but we got to obviously play better than we've played to win a game. That's our sole focus.
Back to BJ real quick. How have you kept his spirits up during this recap? I'm sure he's seen other people come back
Yeah,
quicker.
he's dealt with some injuries, and he's a positive guy. You know what I mean? And you hate to go through it, and you hate to see your players go through it, but you know, it's part of the game. But, you know, he's smart. He'll get caught up. I know he's, you know, been itching to get out there, but understood this was his journey to get back on a practice field, you know, and once he gets back on a practice field, it's not going to be linear either. You know, it never really is with anybody. So it's just one day at a time, control what you can control. And when he's healthy enough to play, hopefully he'll play.
Is that hard for a coach to know that every guy doesn't, their timeline is different, their return, the process is different, kind of, even though it's.
Yeah, I mean, our coaches do a good job. They get the information and deal with that. You know, with our performance staff and our athletic training staff, I'm a little more in the know what's kind of going on in those guys. It's, you know, hey, Nick, BJ's going to be out there. Great. Here's his plan. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? With me, it's a little more, hey, you know, do you feel good about this? Do you feel good about that? Like, here's where he's at, you know, yada, yada, yada. So it's part of managing the roster too, you know, managing the players, which is the job.
As part of the deep dive, anything more different you'd like to try or do with Kyler?
Part of the deep dive? No. I think we're going to, you know, we looked at a couple things that might help him out, but that he feels maybe a little more comfortable with some things that we've been doing, but he'll be his normal self when he gets out there.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
On Garrett and BJ, it's Garrett today, BJ later in the week, is that right?
Yeah, Garrett will be out there today. BJ will be out there Thursday.
Both windows open.
Both windows in. Thanks, Sean.